What's up? So I've been driving this truck around a little bit now that I've got it over at my house, and there's a little bit of a drivability, reliability issue. Not huge, but something minor. Essentially what we're getting, starts up, no problem, drive it around, no problem, but when you let it sit after it gets up to temperature for, if you get out, get back in it, fire it up, no problem. But when it sits for an hour or so, it's a real hard start, if it does even start. So that's something that we're going to address today. There's a couple different things that can be happening with it. Here's what I think. If you look at the fuel line, the way that it runs is from the back, runs right along the engine block because it's a mechanical fuel pump, and then runs right on the front of it all the way up. So there's a lot of space where it's right next to the engine block. Essentially the fuel is getting too hot, and it's vaporizing, vapor lock, which is obviously potentially causing that issue. The other issue that we're having is the way that the carburetor sits right next to the block. More than likely we're getting some percolation, essentially that it's boiling in the bowl, and which is why, especially when we shut it off, occasionally we would get some dieseling. So we're going to see if that's still the case after what we're going to do. What we're going to do for that, we're going to put heat wrap on the fuel line to insulate it. I got this DEI heat sheath. It's a 1/2 inch diameter. It's 3 feet long, so it'll cover a good portion of it. But I want to do all of the fuel line that runs along the engine block. So I also got just some regular old heat tape. We're going to cover pretty much everything of the hard line on the fuel line. And I also got new spark plugs, help burn up that fuel a little bit better. And we'll see if that remedies the issue. Let's give it a shot. Okay, minor learning point. Ended up taking it off at the fuel pump as well. So taking the entire fuel line that wraps around the engine off. In this system, especially with the mechanical fuel pump, it's a non-vented gas cap. So it's constantly keeping a pressure up to the fuel pump. Just crack that, make sure that you have some airflow, otherwise you're not going to lose a bunch of fuel. You wouldn't think there wouldn't be that much that came out. Pretty decent amount just came out. This should probably be going on a little easier. And the other thing is, especially around these curves, this is, let's see if it'll focus. Focus. It's like cracking. So it'll still work. It's definitely a little disappointing. This isn't super expensive, but it's really that cheap either. Alright, 3 feet is actually pretty much perfect. I was doing this again, especially with as curvy as a fuel line as this is. I might have gone up a size, because this is kind of shredded up. I'm a little pissed off about it. See that? Just literally just from this. So, whatever. Let's get it back on. Okay, that was fairly painless. Let's get the spark plugs changed. Okay, fired right up. That's what we wanted to see. So we know the spark plugs are going to work. Those were E3. I've read kind of mixed reviews for some of these older trucks with the E3 spark plugs. Seem to run just fine. So we're going to run it a little bit, get it up to temperature, turn it off, let it sit for an hour and see if that fixes the problem. But while I'm doing that, let's, instead of just watch it drive around and whatnot, I got something else to show you. Let's take a look at this. Alright, well if you follow me on Instagram, you already know what I'm going to show you. I got potentially the deal of the century. Let me just show you. So what we have here, sorry for some wind noise, is I got 2 frames essentially for the price of one. Bottom one, what we have is a half-ton, 6-lug, long bed frame, full roller, suspension, everything. And then on top we have a 3/4 ton long bed frame as well. Best way to tell if it's a 3/4 or if it's a half-ton or C10 or C20, 8-lug, so you can see that. Your front mount is going to be exactly the same, your front body mount, and when we get to the back, the rear body mount is sunk down, so you can see that, and your C10 frame is going to be level with the frame rail. So yeah, I got these, picked these up. They're in really good condition. They're from Georgia. I got them from a guy here in Michigan, but not really any pitting, nothing along those lines. Really, really good conditions. Even these rear control arms or trailing arms, whatever you want to call them, are in pretty good shape. This one's a little split. It's not perfect, but better than the ones that are on my truck right now. So, the question is, what am I going to do with these frames? Someone is just jamming. I don't know if you hear that. What am I going to do with these frames? Well, we're going to take the half-ton frame and we're going to cut it down, of course, and we're going to start building a bagged chassis. so we can get started on a whole nother truck. The gold one that's in there, that one's going to stay the way it is. We're going to make it drivable, just kind of my out and about running around truck. And then this next one, now that I've learned what I've learned from the previous truck, this is the one that we're going to go all in on. I think starting from the frame, completely body off of it, we're going to be able to accomplish a lot more and a little bit more quickly than we did with the other frame. I'm not going to start these right away, but it's on the radar. That being said, I have this 3/4 ton frame that I don't really need. Why did I get both? Well, I wanted the 1/2 ton roller, and obviously it's on the bottom. And when I told him that, he said, well, how about for a little bit extra money you just take both? And the little bit of extra money was like $50. So I took both of them. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with it yet. Probably part out the suspension pieces, and then with the frame itself maybe cut it down and sell it as an advertised cut down short bed frame. But I really don't need both. And when we look at the 3/4 ton, it's really not any different. It's kind of a debate whether they use thicker metal, but from what I can tell, they look pretty damn close to exactly the same. Other than where the body mount is and things like that, not much different. So yeah, here we are. So yeah, stay tuned. We got another big project coming. We're gonna start this one this winter. We're gonna get started on the frame again. We're gonna make it bagged, and we're gonna go all out on this one. So stay tuned for that. Alright, moment of truth time. Truck's been sitting for an hour. We ran it for about 30 minutes. It's not a super hot day, so this really shouldn't be a problem. But with the changes we made, it definitely should not at all, even if it was hotter. So if it fires right up, we know that we fixed it. If it doesn't, then we'll know something else is going on. I'll take that any day of the week. Still a little dieseling at the end, but not too bad. Alright, also, I showed you the frames. The one thing I haven't shown you is, I made the video a while back about the wheels. I did order some tires that I think are going to be the right size. So we're going to get those mounted up here pretty quick. And that way we can test fit them and make sure that they're going to work. And if that's the case, then we'll order the rest of them and get all the wheels on the truck. So stay tuned for that. That's coming soon. See ya.
Let's go. I ain't the first with the curse, with the thirst that I wanna be better, not worse. Man, it hurts. I'm on this earth with my words, and I put them all together, insert, cause I wanna have worth. Working hella hard till they put me in the dirt. Gonna go far, man, listen to my